Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Mateki and welcome to Public Finance for Spring 2024. The purpose of this video is just to give you a brief introduction to the D2L shell and then also talk a little bit about Unit 1. So the screen you're looking at right now is what you get when you enter the D2L shell and you click on Content. So the first thing I recommend doing is looking at the faculty information, a little bit about me, contact information, Zoom room link, office hours, contact email and phone number, all that good stuff. Proceed to look at the syllabus, look at that very carefully. And if you have any questions throughout the course, there's a discussion board that's designed for you to post your questions and then have me respond to them. And I welcome the other students to respond to these as well. Sometimes you can get to them faster or have a little bit different insight. So if you have any questions, post them here and everyone feel free to respond to those. So once you get to the actual course content, so you scroll down through all the introductory material, so at this point you've already read through all of this information, and then you're going to start the actual course material by clicking on Unit 1. So the short introductory video is what I'm recording right now, so this will turn into a hyperlink and then you can you'll click on this to watch what I'm recording right now. So each unit is going to include learning objectives and then 2 submodules. There's going to be a module for learning materials, so this is all the stuff you should read, watch, study, etc. And then there'll be another module called assignments. So anything that's graded that you need to do for an assignment is going to be found in this module. So the readings, if you click on this link, it'll take you to another page that will go through and list what you should be reading for this unit. Most units are going to be 1 week, just so you know. So they'll be posted on Monday morning and then you'll have to complete them by Sunday. So you'd work through the readings, so some of these are going to be outside links, so you should be able to just click on the hyperlinks there to access the reading. You can also download the lecture notes, so these are PowerPoint slides that are associated with each chapter, so summarizing the information. So not a complete substitute for reading the text, but definitely gives you the highlights. So there will be some things from time to time that I post that are not in the standard textbook notes. So you do want to make sure that you go through these for each and every unit. There will also be a series of videos that I'll be posting. So not there yet, but as soon as I get done recording this little intro here, so I'm going to start posting some very brief lecture sort of videos. So the idea is to post 5-10 minutes about a particular topic that I want you to take a look at in more detail. So I know people aren't going to watch 60-minute lecture videos, but hopefully a 5 or 10-minute thing we can get through. So if you do see a video on it, just be aware that that's likely something that you might see later on in the course, on the final exam, etc. So going back to Unit 1. So what are we going to talk about in this chapter? So this is an introduction to the course, Public Finance. Sometimes this is called Public Economics. And so really what we're doing here is applying the principles of microeconomics primarily to the government sector. So how does the government behave? How are they involved in the economy? Why are they involved in the economy? Should they be? Should they be involved more, less? Those are all the types of questions that we're going to look at in this course. In particular, for this unit, the chapter is going to present 4 questions of public finance. So whenever we're dealing with a situation where the government might be involved in an economic issue, there's 4 questions we should ask ourselves, right? And so I'm going to post a short lecture video that goes into these questions in more detail. So I'll be looking for that. So you should be looking for these 4 questions, be able to summarize them and apply them to a new situation. Then the other big part of this chapter is looking at the history of the U.S. government and to a lesser extent foreign governments as well. What has happened to these governments over the last many decades? spoiler alert, they haven't gotten smaller for the most part, right? So governments have tended to get bigger over time, more involvement. And so I want you to be on the lookout for how these changes have taken place, why they took place, and then you can come to your own conclusions about whether this has been helpful, a good thing, bad thing, right? So there's a lot of times in this course where there isn't going to be a clear, cut and dried answer. So a lot of perspectives will be presented, and it's going to be up to you to come to your own conclusions. So when we're talking about the involvement of government, there's always going to be a sort of scientific aspect to it. So economists play two different roles. The first role is scientist, but there's also a policy aspect to this course, right? And so oftentimes this involves, the questions of what should we do, right? And so we call this a normative type of question. And so this brings into play our philosophy, our feelings, our experiences, kind of a subjective aspect to it as well. So be on the lookout for how government has changed, the types of spending, what sort of activities did we used to focus on, what do we focus more on now, where do we get our money primarily as a government, so the different levels of government. We have government at the local level, county level, state level, federal level, the national level, right? How do they get funds to do all the things that they do? And then be able to just briefly compare and contrast what's happened to the U.S. and to selected foreign governments, just at a very basic level. So the text will get into that as well. All right, so if you can answer all of those questions, you have done an excellent job for Unit 1. So I hope you enjoy the semester, and please feel free to reach out at any time if you're having issues with the course. So I'm always here. We can do a Zoom meeting. You can, if you happen to be on campus, you can stop into my office, 219 Watkins Hall. So just don't be shy. Reach out if you need something. Thank you very much, and have an awesome semester.